class act by the Bengals that came out earlier this week. We'd just like to give that a shout out while we're on the topic, practice squads.
Yeah, that clearly great move by the Bengals. They've always been one of those organizations who's quietly always done the right thing. I'm a Steelers fan. I really respect the Bengals organization. I think they're a well-run organization. Have had some bad luck in terms of drafting. Andy Dalton didn't pan out to be all he can be. But Bengals, real class act. But speaking of rookies, Derek Carr got the nod for the Raiders tomorrow against the Jets. Derek Carr, the Raiders actually traded for Matt Schaub earlier this offseason from the Texans. But they drafted Derek Carr out of Fresno State. See, the interesting thing is Matt's not here to argue with me tonight, so I get to talk about my quarterback theory. Derek Carr, Fresno State, small school. He has an opportunity to be yet another guy on my list for small school quarterbacks who have been successful in this league. I really think he can do it. I think he will be successful this year. I mean, obviously it's the Raiders. He's not going to be a star or a Pro Bowler. He's probably not going to make the playoffs. But like I said, second rounder out of Fresno State for the Raiders. Brother of David Carr, which is pretty funny because Matt Schaub ended up taking over for David Carr in Houston, and now Derek Carr is taking over for Matt Schaub in Oakland. CB, are the Raiders making the right move, putting Derek Carr above Matt Schaub?
I don't know if Derek Carr right now is a better quarterback than Matt Schaub, but the point is the Raiders aren't going anywhere. They're probably going to struggle on the road week one in New York, which might not be the best place to start a rookie quarterback. I think at least for the start of the season, it would have been a good idea to go with Matt Schaub, like so many other teams are doing with their rookie quarterbacks, such as in Cleveland. In the long run, this is the right move to show their youth and start Derek Carr, who they drafted to hopefully be a quarterback of the future. But right now, week one, and to start the season, I don't know if this is the right decision. Matt Schaub's still the better quarterback at this point, in my opinion. And I think starting your rookie quarterback on the road week one in New York, even if the Jets are not the best team, they're still a better team than the Raiders. So I just don't know if that was the smartest decision.
You know what? I always thought Derek Carr would be taking over for Matt Schaub. I definitely didn't expect it before week one. I'm usually the guy in favor of bringing up a rookie behind a guy. Especially Matt Schaub's a veteran. It's not like you had no choice, like the Jets just had to throw Geno Smith in there. Or the Panthers had to throw Cam Newton in there. I think you could have kept Matt Schaub in there for a little later. But I like the move by the Raiders just because you want to see what Derek Carr can do. Matt Schaub's 33 years old. He's not going to be your quarterback. He's been horrendous the past couple years for the Texans. All they gave up was a 6th rounder for him, so minimal risk. And I like Derek Carr's upside. I really do. I think he can be a very good quarterback. I'm not talking Pro Bowl. I'm not talking MVP, but very good. I think he's the Raiders' quarterback of the future. I don't think they'll need another one. And you know what? If I had to choose a backup in this league, Matt Schaub is probably at the top of the list because he has the starting potential. Has regressed a little, but God forbid something happens to Derek Carr. I like my chances with Matt Schaub as my backup, as opposed to Matt McGloin. So I think it's the right move, just too soon. I probably would have waited till week 4 or 5, or after the bye, to make that transition. Just so, and I think and we'll get to this later, I think they have a chance against the Jets. I really do. I just think that you didn't have to throw Derek Carr right in there. I think he performed well in the preseason. I think he can do it. I'm just not sure if he should. But I think he'll be pretty good in the league. CB, can Derek Carr be a consistent starter in the NFL?
Yeah, in the future, I don't think this is the year. It's obviously the year to get him some experience in games, but I just don't. I'm with you. I like to, in most situations, start quarterbacks behind veterans if they're available. Now in Cleveland, they want to try Brian Hoyer because of the success he had at the end of last year. Even though he might not be the most savvy veteran for Johnny Manziel to learn behind, but I'm in favor of the idea that you're going to start your quarterback after week 5 or week 6 if he's a rookie.
Yep. So, also, we had some college football today. We're not all NFL today. What I always find interesting is the amount of money, because we're still in basically the cupcake stage of the college football year, where everyone's playing these crappy teams. We do have a couple good games on tonight. Actually, Michigan State is up 24-18 on Oregon.
It's a big game to the Big Ten, especially. As a lot of people are trying to discredit them as a conference.
Yeah.
But I think stronger than a lot of people give credit to. Obviously, they had a huge loss when Wisconsin blew the game in LSU last week. But this is a big statement game for them and the Big Ten as a conference.
Yeah. And also, Notre Dame is up 7-0 on Michigan in the second quarter. But we'll have our entire college football review later on in the show. But what I want to focus on is the amount of money they pay for these small schools to pay them. The biggest payouts from today, shout out to Darren Ravel for the numbers. San Jose State got $1.5 million to play Auburn today. And also, Arkansas State, $1 million from Tennessee. Florida Atlantic, $1 million from Alabama.
And that game was rain shortened as well.
Yeah. Auburn only won. They're winning 35-10 right now over San Jose State. Okay, I thought that was the final. Up 35-10 on San Jose State in the second quarter. Bama beat Florida Atlantic 41-0. No surprise there. But the big thing today, Nebraska paid $415,000 to McNeese State. I don't even know what state that's in. But it took Nebraska. If Nebraska had a last-minute drive and they scored a touchdown, they were tied 24-all to McNeese State in the last minute of the fourth quarter. I think that's pathetic. I think you did yourself a huge disservice. Because all these teams do, they schedule these couple games, they underestimate the teams, and we always have one game like this. We always have this one trap game every year.
Michigan at Appalachian State,
yes.
What was it, 7 years ago?
Yeah, that's true also. Florida had a scare. Did Florida play Georgia State? That was a disaster.
And these games don't improve your standing in, what used to be BCS, but it's a chance to make the college football playoffs because they don't look at these teams as a quality win. Even if you play like a decent mid-major, it shows a lot more about what you're doing than playing a team that, again, Nick doesn't even know what state they're from.
But do you know what state McNeese State is in without looking it up?
Not at all.
Exactly. All right, Florida State's playing Citadel right now. Like, it's a joke. Texas A&M is playing Lamar University. Lamar.
Didn't even know that existed.
Huh?
I said I didn't even know that existed. It just shows that
I'm convinced it's not a real college. I'm thinking it's like an online school. Louisville is up 45-7 on Murray State at halftime.
Murray State has a good basketball program.
That's true, but they're a joke in football. Oklahoma destroyed Tulsa 52-7. Clemson played South Carolina State, put up 73. I mean,
it's just honestly a waste of a football game. I mean, obviously they still make a lot of money from these home games. They pack the stands.
I mean, if you're Auburn, you're paying $1.5 million to San Jose State just so you can get an easy win.
Yeah, but they make so much more money than that off ticket sales and stuff like that. But the advantage of having an extra home game, if you're trying to, that's the whole point of it, that they make extra money that way. If they're playing a good team on the road, if they want to play good teams, they're going to have a balanced home and away schedule, and that's not going to make them as much money. That's the whole point of doing it. Now, obviously, for football fans, it's a bad thing, as they're the real losers because they have to watch these 73-0 laughers and stuff like that instead of seeing, an Oregon, Michigan State week 2. But most teams aren't playing those games because they want to make the extra money that they can get before conference season kicks off.
But look, I'm not saying you have to go out and schedule Alabama week 2. But you can play like Iowa, or you can play San Diego State. You can play.
Yeah, but even Iowa is a good football program.
Exactly. I'm saying schedule a decent team. You can play.
Yeah, but even these decent teams are going to want the extra home games so they can make more money and improve their facilities to recruit more players. That's the whole point of it.
Like now, Arizona State is playing New Mexico. New Mexico's a respectable first 2-week game. I don't want you to play Florida, pay Florida Atlantic $1 million just so you can whoop them 41-0.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But the fact is, it's not going to change because the money is the only important thing in sports right now. And it's really sad that teams are sacrificing playing good competition and really, showcasing the best football that's in our country to make extra money.
Yeah, it's a joke. People are talking about paying players while McNeese State is getting paid $415,000 just because people think they're going to lose. Arkansas State gets $1 million to lose. Try, but lose.
And it's not even safe for some of those players. If you think about how big some of these Alabama players or whatever school you're going to,
huge point.
You're facing 350-pound linemen in some cases from the SEC, and you probably have linemen in these low D1 or D2 schools that are maybe 250 pounds. It's really not safe for them because these 350-pound linemen aren't going to turn down even if it's a 21-0 game early in the second quarter or something like that. They're going to continue to go out there as hard as they can. And honestly, these guys are physically outmatched and playing players they shouldn't be playing for. And it's unsafe. And there can be injuries from this. Now, it's not to try and discredit them and say that they can't play with these players. But they haven't been able to prove it in most cases. There's been one real upset with these games that comes to mind in the last couple of years, and that was the Appalachian State game over Michigan. Most of the other cases, it's just a waste of time, and it can cause players to get injuries, but it's just for these schools to make some extra money.
All right, but real quick, I have a message to Nick Saban. Nick, I'm not asking you to play Florida State week 1. I'm not asking you to play Ohio State week 1. But stop playing West Texas A&M. Stop playing Southeastern Louisiana State. Look, Ole Miss played Vanderbilt today, spanked them 41-3. You can schedule Vanderbilt. You can schedule Kentucky. Just stop scheduling Lamar University and Tulsa, Western Illinois. Stop playing teams that produce good NFL quarterbacks, but not